Crucem sancta subit, qui infernum confregit, accinctus est potentia, surrexit die exia. Alleluia.
So, good morning, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to this very special recording, um, in which basically we're going to be introducing the Christian Economy app, which is something that I have been working with the Augustine. Welcome, Augustine. How are you?
Doing great, thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me on here.
This whiz of computing and who knows the you can unmute, bro. We're just doing a recording. This whiz of computing has managed to use his dark arts of technology to master the ghost in the machine and has created for us a wonderful economy app. Um, and I'll just introduce what the purposes of the app are, and then me and Augustine might just have a chat about the importance of the app before we go on to talk about the app itself, which is that the point of the app is to allow Christian companies to identify other Christian companies to trade with. And it is also designed for Christians to identify Christian companies to work for and to buy from. And it is also designed to allow Christian companies to recruit Christians. And the reason for that is because an employed and enriched church is a powerful church. And economy is something that has a powerful play over our lives. And if the church organizes to capture larger and larger shares of the overall economy, it increases the church's influence over people's lives, as well as setting them free from the progressive tyranny. Um, you've got a situation where um, progressives control the economy, and in their control of the economy, they weaponize it to push their ideology. I mean, I don't know about you, Augustine. Have you ever been sent on one of these training courses to make sure that you've got right think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been reprimanded at work actually for things like that.
What did you do to get reprimanded? Sorry, I'm just looking for a wire. Bear with us one second. Bit embarrassing. I
No
need to
problem.
go find a wire. Go on, I can still hear you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, well, I've for maybe reposting the wrong thing or sharing something on social media that someone may have seen, and I've been sort of reported for. It does happen.
Well, I've lost jobs. I've had to fight three times because of my activism in jobs. Um,
Wow.
once I got put on um, a final disciplinary. Once I was um, sacked. And once I got the people that accused me sacked, you know.
Right.
So it was kind of one win, one loss, one draw kind of thing. Um, but but the point is, all of those was because of the kind of activism that I now do
Hmm.
on YouTube. Um, and the thing is, it has a massive impact on your life, and there are lots of Christians losing their jobs at the moment
Yeah.
because of their beliefs. And wouldn't it be nice if we could flip the lid on it? like turn the tables on the progressives and sack them for their progressive views, because their views don't match the kind of Christian ethos of our companies that we want to build. And
hmm
so, but the only way that we can do that is to strengthen the church's the church's economy generally. One of the issues that we face is that um, you've got a situation where there's lots of Christian companies, charities, organizations, churches, obviously, that are out there, institutions, but they can't find the Christians to work for them. And the
Yeah.
Christians can't find those institutions, those companies, those charities. And so this is again what this app is about. It's about allowing Christians to find one another so that the best Christians can go to work for the best Christian companies. Um, and 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 feel free to jump in, Augustine, with any thoughts that you've got. You know, this is not me giving a speech.
No,
But
of course.
yeah, but in terms of the the power to influence people's lives. You know, companies design what training people receive. They discipline people for their cultural and social interactions if they don't meet with the company's in quote marks reputation.
hmm
Um, and they also influence the high street. You know, you walk down the high street and how many companies are flying pride flags and all the rest of it, or how many
Yeah.
restaurants are flipped over into selling halal meat. Um, and you know, if we can create a an awareness amongst Christians about where the Christian cafe is, where the Christian restaurant is, where the Christian printing shop is, where the Christian hotel is, where the Christian credit union is, um, then what we're doing is we're facilitating the enrichment of the whole church, especially if people get on board and aggressively use it to employ other Christians, because it's in a world that's becoming increasingly discriminatory against Christians. It's becoming more and more important for Christians to be able to hunker down, bunker up. I mean, I've been a big advocate for the Benedict option for a long time,
Yeah.
and this is one of the ways that we can try and achieve that. Um, what do you think is the importance of economy to the church, Augustine?
I think it's really, really important in the sense that you were saying it's about visibility, with the app especially, is that, you may go for a coffee and you have a number of options before you, but if you know that you can help a brother or sister out and you can further, you know, the community of holiness, if you want to call it that, the Christian church, you would go to the Christian coffee shop, right? And so for us to be able to be on the browse,
If you're
yeah,
working,
sure.
you're dealing with economy that's going to shelter you from abuse.
hmm
But also, it's really important for Christians to organize themselves militantly. You know, Elon Musk recently called for everyone to scrap um, their accounts to Netflix. And I don't know if it's true. I've not looked into the actual news reports of it, but certainly on X, that there's talks about Netflix suffering massive losses in a single week. Well, imagine if Christians organized themselves as a bloc to boycott companies that were acting against their interests or against their faith. So if, for instance, a particular cinema in a particular town was to put up a particularly blasphemous movie, um, the Christians in that town could all boycott it, and then the chain itself could start to be boycotted by Christians as a whole. And you could apply this in ad nauseum to multiple different things. And so if Christians could communicate with one another, like saying, right, we're all boycotting this company, we're all supporting that company, then what it does is it starts to create this Christian pound that then starts to have a tell. in society, it starts to influence the direction that society goes in. Um, there's a number of anecdotes that I can tell to try and illustrate this point. So, for example, the reason why most of us have free speech at the moment is because of Elon Musk and the fact that he bought X,
Yeah.
which is the sort of the world, the English speaking world's social space.
Mhm.
Maybe broader, but obviously I only engage with the English side of it. But then there's a Arabic speaking cafe bookshop that I know about in London, which I really want to encourage people to go to. It's called Agape in Bayswater. They do great stuff. They're a Christian cafe bookshop, and obviously as a Christian Arab cafe bookshop, they often get visitors from Arabic speaking Muslims, who then are encountering Christians and having the opportunity to discover the Christian
Mhm.
faith. And I know that bookshop would have been closed had it not been for the landlords all who owned the building also being Christian, um, who then decided that they weren't going to sell their property and thus kept it open when certain interest groups wanted to buy the building so that they could shut down the cafe, and so thus changing the
Wow.
high street. And so the reality is those that control the high street get to influence what happens on the high street. And if
Absolutely.
and if we Christians organize ourselves, that could be us, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, what other ways do you think economy can be used as a weapon of evangelization or as a shield to protect Christians? Have you got any thoughts, Augustine?
Yeah, well, so just to add on to what you were saying earlier, businesses care about profits, don't they? Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, some have agendas, but mainly when they adopt those agendas, it's because they see some kind of financial benefit to it. And so, if we have some kind of sway and a bit of swing within the economy, and we can come together as a block, as you were saying, so that it becomes unprofitable for them to push wokery or the liberal agenda, right? And for them to promote things that are anti-Christian, then hopefully they will change their ways. And that can act as a shield in a way for the Christian community. Maybe you want your children, you want to be able to take your children to the cinema to watch a film and not have to worry about being, propagandized with LGBT material. And if film companies find that it's not profitable for them to do that anymore, they will probably eventually stop, we hope, right? And so it's very powerful in that way. I do agree. Um, Also, on the high street point as well, I think having, as you were saying, a Christian presence is a really good way to evangelize. People may not know about your faith. Maybe most people day to day don't talk about their faith as much when they're at work. But if you're at a Christian company or you are employed by a Christian company, you can be more free to speak and to be open about your faith when you're maybe at work or when you're interacting with people, and you don't feel as constrained in that way as you may normally do. And then a third point as well, to carry on what you said. Yes, we can have Christian businesses employ Christians, and that is a really good thing, and it helps people get jobs with Christian businesses. But another great thing off the back of that is that a Christian business can employ someone knowing that they share their values and that they are not going to try and cause trouble and bring their sort of ideological baggage with them and
Mm,
enact all of these kind of corporate things that we're seeing everywhere. Um, you can kind of feel that safety that your business can grow, but not in a way that's going to compromise your faith, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's also really important, and I think
And
all
and
of
these
these
are
things tie together.
and these are principles that are true for not just like overtly Christian organizations like overt Christian charities, but also just secular Christian businesses, i.e.,
Yeah,
secular, non-religiously pointed businesses that just happen to be owned and run by Christians. Um, and one of the reasons why we've lost so many institutions of the church and so many businesses of the church and so many great foundations and charities and so on, and entire churches themselves, is because they could not find Christians to staff them. And
yeah,
so the thing about the moment you set something up that is an institutional body, it takes on a life of its own that people want to preserve, and that it wants to preserve itself. And as it does so, as it grows, if it can't find the Christians within it to keep and maintain its Christian identity, it'll start to de-Christianize. Um,
hmm
and that's how the progressives have captured all kinds of different Christian organizations. Um, and if, for instance, there are Christians who are seeking to grow a business, but they don't want to lose their Christian identity or ring or risk bringing in, um, uh, you know, liberal progressives who will undermine the Christian values of their company, then they need to be able to find the Christian economy essentially needs to find itself, and that's what this app is aimed to do. There's a number of ways that Christians need to organize an economy, and this is one tool that we're going to get into to do that. I think, for instance, there's other ways as well. So like trade unions, the NHS right now desperately, desperately needs a trade union um, that is run on a Christian ethos to defend the rights of Christian workers um,
hmm
from a Christian perspective. And I'm praying and speaking out and hoping that eventually someone in the NHS is going to set up this Christian trade union for all the Christians of the NHS to join, so that when the time comes that a doctor is being compelled to carry out euthanasia or abortion, the entire trade union can go on strike, which will then show that there's a strong Christian presence in the NHS and show that it can impact the NHS and can
hmm
successfully defend. Another example is many people have heard now about the network of Muslims that operate within the Home Office. Well,
hmm
why can't we have a similar Christian network? Or the example that in the NHS you've got this Islamic network that's encouraging people to convert to Islam. Well, why isn't there a Christian network doing the same and explaining
Absolutely.
how you get baptized? The point is, we as Christians are not very strategic in thinking about how we can use the economy as a weapon of evangelization, how we can use the economy as a tool of discipleship, how we can use the economy as a way of forming pacts and networks of solidarity with one another and organizing the church economically, not only to defend Christians, but also to advance the agenda of the kingdom of God. And
Absolutely.
any thoughts on that?
No, I think you're right, and I think you touched on the fact that Muslims have these networks in these places, right? The Muslims are really good at these things. They know what they're doing. I get bulletins, or I used to get bulletins at work during Ramadan, explaining what Ramadan is, and we used to have talks on about Islam and what Islam thinks about Jesus, for example. I didn't see any Christian talks being hosted, right? And
Yeah.
so we need to get really good at doing those kind of things and being able to put ourselves out there. I think maybe one, I don't know what you think about this, but it could be the fact that we kind of fall into the false sense of security that this is a Christian country. So although it kind of isn't, though, is it? Or it
I
should
don't, I
be.
don't, I don't think anyone in my audience has got a false sense of security. I think, if anything, my audience tend to go the other way and catastrophize the situation. If they're going to have one tendency over another, it's going to be more, it's all lost, it's all doomed, rather
Yeah.
than a more sort of balanced view, which is basically, the world doesn't have to keep going in the direction that it is. But
Yeah.
the answer is that we organize. The answer is
hmm
that we mobilize. The answer is that we train. The answer is that we unite. The answer is that we resist. And things like organizing economically as an economic power block within the society and culture is one of the ways to do that. And the app is here to try and facilitate that. But the other problems, like I think the reason why you didn't get any equivalents to the Ramadan talks in your place of work is A, because of Christian timidity, and B, because a lot of Christians have kind of lost touch with Lent, you
hmm
know. And I would just put it to you, Augustine, why didn't you organize some Lent talks? Huh? Um, you
It's a
know,
good correction.
yeah,
Yeah,
if
no,
you
you're
if you
absolutely right.
spot a problem, why don't you try and fix it? Um, and I jest aside, but like I just want to say to everybody, Augustine has been absolutely fundamental to building this app. I mean, he met with me on a regular basis. How long have we worked on it? For over a year, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's been over a year now. Well, it
Yeah.
doesn't feel that way, but it has been.
And we were meeting nearly every month to discuss it, and I was sort of like in charge of strategic vision, but Augustine basically did absolutely everything else, as well as come up with some absolutely brilliant ideas of his own. And so it's a real this is a real expression of his art, to be honest. And so, without further ado, Augustine, I'm going to hand over to you now. You can share your screen, and if you could give everybody and myself a tour, a guided tour of the Christian Economy app.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. It's been a pleasure working on this with you. It's been really fun, actually.
I'm so glad.
Now, try and get this shared. Let me know if you can see.
Yep, I can see. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Right,
Right.
don't skip screens until I've maybe asked any questions that I want to about any particular page.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah, I've got them on separate screens, so we're all good. So here we have the homepage. This is the Christian Economy app. You'll have to bear with me because I don't know if you can see the mouse pointer, but
Yeah.
this is screen sharing from my phone on my laptop. So when I'm scrolling, I'll be scrolling with a mouse, so it won't look as smooth, right?
Right. Okay. No worries.
So here we have essentially our business directory. Obviously, the businesses in here I've put on there. These are sort of like examples, just so that you can see what it would look like once it's populated. At the moment, we haven't got any users, so it would be empty, right? So this is just for you to see for the demo, essentially.
Yeah.
So you're able to filter by industry. So whether you're looking for a religious institution, something in tech, someone who's in education, maybe law, you can filter up here, and the businesses will change for you.
Oh, nice.
And over here, you can scroll through and see which businesses you want to look at. Maybe, let's say you click on this one here, it's Oxford Oratory Shop. All the details will pop up for you. You've got your description, you've got their phone number. You can see actually here that they're hiring, so you can contact them and have a chat with them about what roles they're looking for, maybe if they haven't advertised them in the app. You've got their social media pages, and here at the bottom, you can see what their values are, right? So you want to know whether or not they're pro-church, whether or not they're pro-life, whether or not they're pro-family, pro-charity. Are they closed on Sundays, or do they make their employees work on Sundays? So these are things that are really important for you to know. And when assessing whether or not to use a business, you can kind of see where their values lie, right? Obviously, we can visit the website as well. And if you want to share it with a friend, maybe you're looking for jewelry, maybe you're looking for a coffee, and you want to share something with a buddy, you can do that here, right?
So this is the front page to each business. So they would then set up their business page, and that's what would be presented to everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is what would be advertised to everyone, right? So you set up your business as a user, which I'll show you in a second. And then that then comes up on the homepage here. At the top, we have a section for priority businesses, right? So these would be businesses, I've just put examples, that would have shared the Christian Economy app on social media, and we will then put them in the priority list, and they will be shown front and center. I imagine that this section will get bigger as we have more users, and so being here at the top will provide extra visibility for users. Yeah, so you can also search as well. So let's say you know who you're looking for. Let's say we're looking for a certain person. Maybe we're looking for Sam Shamoon. I've put him on here as an example. Everything comes up. So you can search for whoever you like, right? And then you can have access to all of their profiles, all their social media, and you can get in contact with them if you so wish.
So different Christian YouTubers could come on here as well then?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone, any kind of business. A YouTube channel is a business. If you want to be visible, maybe people don't know about your channel, maybe people don't know about your coffee shop, maybe people don't know about your consultancy. Whatever it is, if you're a Christian and you're running something that you think would be, is part of the economy.
Surgery.
Yes, yeah, anything. So Obviously, it's filled with YouTubers at the moment because I've just
Chucked in examples.
chucked in a bunch that people will know, or that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be, right? So next page we have is the boycott page. So this is the blacklist, right?
hmm
And this is what we were talking about earlier, where you have that economic sway, where you can organize things as a community and decide that you're not going to shop at X place or purchase things from this person, right?
Yeah.
So here we have examples. So we've got in the pending column, you have Planned Parenthood,
hmm
for obvious reasons, that's on there. And then underneath, you've got a support and encourage abortion, right? So this is the justification. You can click to vote. I've already voted, so it won't allow me to,
Yeah.
which means you don't get double voting, and it will give you a description. So whoever raises this boycott request will put in a link to the evidence and a description of the reason why, as a community, we should boycott this place. And so you can, as a user, assess each case and cast your vote. And eventually, once voting's finished, you'll have an approved list, which you can scroll through and have a look.
Of companies that should be boycotted.
Absolutely. So these are the ones that the community will have agreed, yes, we are all in favour of boycotting these.
And
So
is that based upon just a simple majority vote or an absolute majority vote? Or like how does the final decision get made? Is it
final
like
decision would be a simple majority.
simple
So
majority?
so once you raise a boycott, it will stay up for 3 months. And after that 3-month period is over, from the point of you raising the boycott, the votes will be tallied up. And if it's more in the yes, it goes in the approved. And if it's more in the no's, it goes in the rejected.
Got you.
Yeah. So I've put obviously just examples here, but you have examples of things that were rejected, for example.
Yeah,
So
of
you can
course.
review that as well.
Yeah. And we all know someone is actually going to put the Catholic Church in there. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly why I put it on there. I thought that'd definitely show up at some point.
Yeah.
So this is the blacklist section, right? In the middle here, we have jobs. So this is going to be where you're going to look for your roles. I imagine that this will tick up as things go along. The more people list their businesses on there, we'll get more jobs coming on. And then we can kind of, if we feel that more features are needed, we can update this as we go along. But essentially, you can see the job opportunities here. Let's say you're a senior software engineer and you're looking for a role. You've got one here, advertised by Walsh Web Design, and you can apply online. So you can click here, and whoever's raised this this ad can put the link here for the actual online application, for example.
Right.
So this is what we were talking about, where you have the visibility.
Yeah.
And then in this area, you've got your businesses. So this is obviously, I'm the only user right now, so I own all the businesses.
Yes. Everything.
So this is
the ones being boycotted and the ones not being boycotted.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's all mine, so I've got them all here. But obviously, when you load up the app, you'll have nothing in here until you've created your first business, and here you can edit and change things.
And are we able to see how easy it is to set up a new business?
Yes, I will show you how to do that.
Right,
so
okay. I'll let you.
Yep, you've got your. Actually, I'll go back and I'll explain that. So you've got your new businesses button here if you want to create something.
Yeah.
Also, in your profile section, you also have a create business button as well. So regardless of where you are, you can pretty much do it anywhere in the app.
Yeah.
Create your business. You can put your profile picture in, put your cover photo, and then you fill out all of these fields. I won't bore you because it will take a long time to fill out everything.
Yeah.
You've got your description. You want to put your links in for your social media. You can put in your industry. What do you work in? And then here we have, do you have vacancies available? This doesn't necessarily mean that you've advertised jobs on the app. This just means, are you actively recruiting? So you may not want to post, for whatever reason, the job. But you can let people know that you're hiring so they can reach out to you.
They can reach out to you. Got you. Great. Absolutely brilliant.
And then here we have the values section, right? So you've got, are you closed on Sundays? Are you pro-family, pro-charity, etc., etc.?
And when we say pro-charity, I think we're meaning Christian charity primarily, or Christian-like charities, like...
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I mean, you would assume that charity wouldn't mean, donating money for abortions.
Exactly. Or pushing LGBTQ agendas onto the world.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
we if we found that a company was saying that they were pro charity, but actually the charities that they were involved in, um, if we were to find out that we'd take that off them, wouldn't we? Like, and I
Yes.
guess in terms of monitoring this, like where are we on the monitoring of the app, honestly?
Well, it would be monitored by, I guess, our team. So we have access to the back end, so we can kind of see what's being posted and what's being put on here.
So if somebody
And
was setting up if somebody set up a cam girls business and it came to our attention that there was
yeah,
someone was setting a cam girls business on the app, we'd be able to delete that.
absolutely. And users would be able to alert us of it. So, for example, let's say I click on a profile, you see that maybe this is an
Let,
inappropriate page, which it's
let's
not in this
pretend it
case, but
is. Let's
let's
pretend it
pretend that it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yep. You click the
Yeah.
report button, and then you can have direct access to myself or Bob and report that account, and then that will be dealt with duly,
Yeah.
probably by myself. So
Brilliant.
yeah, yeah.
So go on,
So
continue with the continue. We were on the that was it. We were on the building the business page.
yes.
Um,
So then here we can create a job ad. So it's pretty simple, not too complicated. If people feel that they want a little bit more in the future, we can definitely add it. But for now, we've just got position name, location, the link to apply online, and the job description. Keep
yeah.
it nice, clean, and simple, right?
Yeah.
And then we have our profile page. Very simple. Here you can edit your profile. You can create a new business. You can create a boycott. Maybe you couldn't see the buttons or you couldn't find it elsewhere.
Mhm.
You've got your light mode, dark mode. You have your support. So this will go directly to email myself or Bob as well, just in
Yeah.
case maybe there's a bug. Maybe you've seen something you don't like. Maybe there's something to report. You couldn't find the report button.
Maybe you
Anything.
found a fault of a company up there trolling us.
Absolutely. Yep. Or someone who's maybe said that they have a certain value and to the contrary.
Yeah, if you're working for a company that's saying, "Hey, we close on Sundays," and
Yeah.
actually they're making you work on Sundays, you can bring that to our attention.
Exactly. Yeah, so that will take you directly to email us.
Yeah.
We've got the terms of service, privacy policy, and then we have delete accounts. So at least let's say you create an account, you don't really, for whatever reason, you don't like the application, you're not going to use it again, but you don't want your account to persist there in our database, you can delete it. You're absolutely free to do so. So we have all of those options here in the profile section of the app.
Brilliant.
Yeah, nice, short and sharp. It's pretty
That
simple, to be honest.
and that's it, guys. That is the wrap.
Yeah.
What we are looking for now. Do you want to stop your share?
Yeah, go on. There you go. Is that all right?
Yeah, and that's the wrap, guys. It's a very simple tool to help Christians find one another, to help Christians create bonds together across denominations. You know, you might be a Protestant that owns a business, but you employ Roman Catholics and Orthodox, or vice versa. And it is an app that we can build up the wealth of the church, and it is an app by which we can start to carve out for ourselves a bigger and bigger and bigger share of the national and international economy. And by doing that, we gain a sort of George Bezos kind of grip, a Bill Gates kind of grip over society. And that's the way that we do it. And so this is where we hand over to you, and we say to all of you, our brothers and sisters who hear about this app, who watch this recording, if you know any Christian business owner or any Christian business in your church or in your community or in your city, town, please share this app with them. Let them know that this app exists. If you know, and share this with Christians, anyone who's looking, get on it yourselves, join in. You might not be able to set up a business because you're just someone who's looking to buy things from Christians. But get on it and share it as widely as possible, because the point of this app, it can only work if we, ironically, without any sense of irony, actually. It can only work if we work together. And when I
Yeah.
say work, I mean it in the truest sense of the word, work together. And so this will work if we share it. This will work if we work together. And it is a strategic step for the church to organize economically to get on the front foot in freeing brothers and sisters and those of goodwill from the grip of the liberal progressives over the lives that they've grabbed through economy, but also from freeing the whole of society from the grip of the grip of progressives and their grip over the economy. Because the more we edge them out, both of employment and of business and of finance, the freer we all become if we make them bankrupt, basically. I was just thinking whilst we were talking, it'd be great if groups like the Salvation Army, who own an international bank, or
Hmm.
Christian banks were on here, like the Vatican Bank or Kingdom Bank, and then Christians could even start investing their money in Christian banks, because that's a massive area of the economy that we could get a grip of. So
Yeah, that's a great point.
it's really about freeing up the imagination, imaginative creativity of the Christian community in terms of economy, and understanding that this great crusade that we are on for our Lord Jesus Christ, towards His kingdom, is something that we have to do economically, politically, socially, and culturally, and and this is one of the ways of helping us to organize economically to do it. So share, 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 share this app. Let everybody know about it, who's a Christian, please, because that's the only way that this can succeed. Augustine, obviously, you've done a very professional job, in a very professional way. I can just say that it's been a real pleasure working with Augustine. The man is a workhorse, a very intelligent, creative, thoughtful app developer. And I just want to say, if any of you out there want to develop an app, this is the man to talk to. And he will do you a good job. So, Augustine, how do people get in touch with you? Can they get in touch with you via the app? Can you show them via the app how they can reach out to you to do that, or do you want to share any contact details or anything? Do
Yeah, absolutely.
you want to
Thank you,
share
brother.
if you've got a website? Do you want to share that website so people can find your website?
Yeah, I'll show you. So I'll show on the app and as well as the website as well.
Yeah,
So thank you for your kind words, by the way. It's
not
been a
kind,
pleasure. It's been
honest,
amazing.
honest words, honest words. Kind
Appreciate it.
words is saying that the kind words is saying that you look as handsome as me. That's kind, but that's more charity, really.
Yeah, that's more charitable. I'll take that.
Go on.
Yeah. So the business that we have is Walsh Web Design. It's on the app, so if you want to find it, you can find it and search it in there. So we do have a page here. We have a link to the Instagram page. We have a link to the website. You can obviously see this is probably at the moment the only real business that's on the app, right? So if you want to find me, you can find me on here. My website is live, so if you'd like to get in touch with me, I'll ask Bob actually to put the link to the website in the description of the video, and
Yeah.
my email address as well. So if anyone wants to reach out, I'd be happy to help them to bring to life whatever app they need or whatever website they need.
And am I right in thinking that you're hoping that lots of Christians are going to come forward with different app ideas for you to work on?
Definitely, Christians would be the best. As we said, you've got to help the brothers out, right? So
Yeah.
that's mainly what I'd love to see.
Brilliant. So there you go, guys. You've seen the app. You've seen the potential of the app. Hopefully, you understand the importance of economic organization, mobilization, and resistance. And now you have a tool to do it. And this is how we win. This is how we win our freedom. This is how we secure the right to speak out the Christian truth to the world. And this is how we edge out the liberals and their progressives, by basically going after their money and taking away their grip over the economy And this is how we advance the influence of the church, by advancing the influence of the church's grip of the economy. And with that, have you got any final words, Augustine,
No,
that you'd like to say?
I think you summarized it beautifully. Just share, and people get on the app and use it. It'll only work if we actually use it, right? It's only useful if there are people on there. So, yeah, just download it. It's available on the App Store, Google Play Store. If you have an Android or iPhone, doesn't matter. You can download it on either. So let's get it started.
Brilliant. In that case, we shall say good night, adieu, God bless, peace be with you, and share the app, share the app, share the app. Good night.